were gentlemen. I mean, they weren't assholes. They were nice men, but they were hardcore. They were hard-working men.
At 80 years old, Sam Elliott finally broke his famous cowboy cool silence. Known for his gravel-deep voice, rugged authenticity, and no-nonsense demeanor, he has now admitted there are 7 actors he truly couldn't stand working with. He didn't sugarcoat it either. One he called a diva in boots, another all ego and no talent. For decades, Elliot kept his judgments quiet, but now the truth is out, and it's rougher than a desert standoff. The first name on his list was Benedict Cumberbatch. Back in 2021, Elliot caused a firestorm after unloading on Jane Campion's Oscar-winning Western, The Power of the Dog. It wasn't a polite critique. It was raw and scathing. He ridiculed Cumberbatch's portrayal of a rancher, mocking his stiff posture and prissy delivery. "What the hell does this Brit know about the American West?" Elliot growled. For him, authenticity was sacred, and he believed the film had betrayed it. Critics accused him of gatekeeping and clinging to outdated masculinity, but Elliot never backed down. To him, it wasn't about modern interpretation. It was about respect for the land, the grit, and the silence of real cowboy life, something he felt Cumberbatch could never understand. Another actor who earned Elliot's disapproval was Nicolas Cage. Where Elliot believed in restraint and stillness, Cage built his reputation on unhinged energy and wild unpredictability. To Elliot, this wasn't genius. It was chaos. When they appeared together in Ghost Rider, Elliot remained professional but kept his distance. Later, he would describe certain actors as more firework than flame, a not-so-subtle jab at Cage. In his eyes, Cage embodied spectacle over substance, choosing noise where Elliot valued quiet depth. No matter the awards or praise, Elliot believed Cage had abandoned the essence of true acting. Kevin Costner also found himself on the wrong side of Elliot's judgment. While Costner's Yellowstone brought the Western genre back into the spotlight, Elliot saw it as little more than a glossy soap opera. To him, Costner was playing dress-up, a rancher in clean boots who didn't understand the real hardship of frontier life. Reports even suggest Elliot turned down a cameo role in Yellowstone, dismissing it as a soap opera with a cowboy hat. For Elliot, this wasn't a feud of egos. It was principle. He refused to compromise his code for a show he didn't believe honored the truth of the West. When it came to Jared Leto, Elliot's problem wasn't with style, it was with pretension. Leto's headline-grabbing method acting, from sending rats to co-stars to staying in character off-camera, didn't impress Elliot in the slightest. To him, it wasn't dedication, it was showmanship. Acting, in his philosophy, was supposed to whisper, not scream. It was about truth, not stunts. Elliot even walked away from a project when it was reshaped around Leto's casting. For him, sharing the screen with someone who turned the craft into a carnival act was out of the question. Even Ashton Kutcher, who worked directly with Elliot on Netflix's The Ranch, couldn't escape his quiet disapproval. Kutcher often praised Elliot as a mentor, but behind the scenes, Elliot felt the younger actor represented everything he distrusted about modern Hollywood. Charm without depth, fame without the hard-earned craft. He never caused drama on set, but insiders recalled him muttering, "He's a decent guy, but no real actor." To Elliot, Kutcher's light-hearted style simply lacked the weight needed to tell real stories. Director Jane Campion also became one of Elliot's open targets. After his harsh comments about The Power of the Dog, Campion fired back publicly, mocking him as not a cowboy, just an actor. She accused him of sexism and gatekeeping, calling his attacks outdated. Elliot never apologized or softened his stance. For him, Campion's film didn't capture the soul of the West, and no amount of critical acclaim could change his mind. Finally, Jeff Bridges. Once, Elliot and Bridges seemed like kindred spirits, two weathered actors cut from the same cloth. Their chemistry in The Big Lebowski was legendary. But after Bridges' Oscar win in 2010, something shifted. Elliot noticed a change, a more polished, distant version of the man he once admired. He never spoke openly against Bridges, but the silence between them grew. For Elliot, it wasn't betrayal, but disappointment. The quiet bond they shared seemed to fade, and for a man who values loyalty above all, that silence cut deeper than any feud. Sam Elliott's honesty may sound harsh, but it comes from a code he's lived by for decades. To him, acting isn't about fame or flash. It's about discipline, humility, and respect for truth. He's not afraid to call out what he sees as pretension, ego, or betrayal of the— Or do you think he's being too harsh? Let us know in the comments, and the Western spirit. And even at 80, the actor's Sam Elliott couldn't stand? Do you agree with his take? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Hollywood deep dives. He refuses to compromise. What do you think about